Matters. Mattress Warehouse, because it all matters.
Over 30 queen mattresses for less than $799.
Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. The sweeping indictment from special counsel Robert Mueller. On the eve of the president's summit with Vladimir Putin, 12 Russian intelligence officers have now been charged by name. What they're accused of doing starting 8 months before Americans headed to the polls. Tonight, calls for the president to cancel the summit. Also breaking tonight, the massive protests paralyzing parts of London. Our team on the streets as the president meets the Queen. And just hours after the president took aim at the British Prime Minister Theresa May, saying she wrecked Brexit, that he could have done it better, he was then standing by her side. As a reporter asks the president, is that what an ally does? How the president answers. Here at home tonight, the video and now the outrage. Officers flipping a coin to decide whether or not to arrest a young woman after she was stopped for speeding. You can see her sobbing. The man allegedly masquerading as a police officer pulling over a vehicle with two insides. What he did not know, an unmarked car, two troopers waiting for him. The major rescue effort underway late today. The pictures coming in right now. And your money tonight, the major deal's just hours away. Amazon Prime Day is coming, and how you can get in on the big savings even if you're not a member.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Friday night. Protests in London amid the president's visit. But first, that bombshell indictment from the special counsel Robert Mueller, charging 12 members of Russia's top intelligence service. And tonight, what they're accused of doing for 8 months leading up to the moment Americans voted. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein alleging the suspects secretly targeted more than 300 people with ties to the Democratic Party and to Hillary Clinton and her campaign, out to damage her. This all played out on TV just as something else did, the very moment President Trump was in England meeting the Queen. Tonight, those major demonstrations in London and calls in this country now to cancel the summit with Vladimir Putin. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off.
On the eve of the president's meeting with Vladimir Putin, special counsel Robert Mueller out with his most sweeping indictment yet, accusing current members of Putin's own government of disrupting the 2016 election.
The indictment charges 12 Russian military officers by name for conspiring to interfere with the 2016 presidential election.
The new indictment charges Russian intelligence officers with engaging in widespread hacking, targeting the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. They allegedly started as early as March 2016, 8 months before the election, targeting at least 300 people. Putin had disdain for Hillary Clinton after she stood up to him about free elections.
There was one unit that engaged in active cyber operations by stealing information, and a different unit that was responsible for disseminating the stolen information.
The Russians accused of posing as a hacker known as Guccifer 2.0 to pass that stolen information to WikiLeaks. Prosecutors allege WikiLeaks sent Guccifer 2.0 a private message saying, "Send any new material here to us to review, and it will have a much higher impact than what you are doing." Mueller also claims Guccifer 2.0 reached out to someone close to the Trump campaign, believed to be his longtime strategist Roger Stone, writing, "Do you find anything interesting in the docs I posted? And then please tell me if I can help you anyhow." Stone himself was not indicted and insists that he's done nothing wrong. Mueller described the Russians as nimble, noting that they went after Clinton's campaign on the same day as this appeal from candidate Trump.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press. Let's see if that happens.
Apparently that very day, according to the indictment, the conspirators attempted after hours to spearfish for the first time email accounts used by Clinton's personal office. They also targeted 76 email addresses at the domain for the Clinton campaign. Authorities also claim the Russians tried to infiltrate a number of state election offices.
Russian GRU officers hacked the website of a state election board and stole information about 500,000 voters.
Special counsel Mueller's list growing. 32 people charged so far with more than 100 criminal counts.
When we confront foreign interference in American elections, it's important for us to avoid thinking politically as Republicans or Democrats, and instead to think patriotically as Americans.
The Deputy Attorney General says he briefed President Trump about the new indictments earlier this week. But this morning, the president seemed more concerned with the damage the investigation was doing than what Putin had done.
I think that we're being hurt very badly by the, I would call it the witch hunt. I would call it the rigged witch hunt. I think that really hurts our country, and it really hurts our relationship with Russia. I think that we would have a chance to have a very good relationship with Russia and a very good relationship with President Putin. I would hope so.
But the president says he will press Putin about allegations of Russian meddling.
I know you'll ask, will we be talking about meddling? And I will absolutely bring that up. I don't think you'll have any, gee, I did it, you got me. There won't be a Perry Mason here, I don't think.
Let's get to Pierre Thomas. He joins us tonight from the Justice Department. And Pierre, some Democrats tonight are calling on the president to cancel the summit with Putin. And now a leading Republican is adding his voice too.
That's right, David. Democratic Senator Mark Warner said there should be no meeting and basically said he's afraid of Trump being alone with Putin. And this blistering statement from Republican Senator John McCain. If President Trump is not prepared to hold Putin accountable, the summit in Helsinki should not move forward. David?
Pierre Thomas leading us off on a Friday night. This all came as the drama unfolds in London and across the UK. Protests paralyzing much of London as the president visits. And just as he landed there, take a look at this. A searing interview with a British newspaper blasting Prime Minister Theresa May. The paper saying the president essentially said she wrecked Brexit and that he could have done better, that she didn't take his advice. And then just hours later, he was side by side with her at a news conference answering questions, among them a reporter asking President Trump, is that what a friend does? ABC's Terry Moran reporting from London tonight.
For a moment, they were holding hands again, like old friends, as President Trump and Prime Minister May arrived at their press conference. But right out of the gate, a question from the British press about the president's blistering interview criticizing the prime minister.
You publicly criticized the prime minister's policy and her personally for not listening to you this week. Is that really the behavior of a friend?
I didn't criticize the prime minister. I have a lot of respect for the prime minister.
But listen to the tape and what the president said about May's plans for Brexit. That's Britain getting out of the European Union.
I actually told Theresa May how to do it, but she didn't agree with it. She didn't listen to me. She probably went the opposite way. That's fine. You know, she should negotiate the best way she knows how. But it's too bad.
That interview rocked Britain. May is fighting for her political life on this very issue. And President Trump acknowledged he did tell her to go another way in Britain's thorny negotiations with Europe.
As far as the advice, I did give her a suggestion. I wouldn't say advice. And I think she found it maybe too brutal. I could fully understand why she thought it was a little bit tough. And maybe someday she'll do that. If they don't make the right deal, she might very well do what I suggested that she might want to do. But it is not an easy thing.
The British press was in a lather about Trump's interview, so he says he did something when they met this morning that's rare for him. He offered to apologize.
She's a total professional, because when I saw her this morning, I said, I want to apologize because I said such good things about you. She said, don't worry, it's only the press. They've been doing it to me and I do it to them.
And in the end, he completed his mea culpa, endorsing her leadership.
Whatever you do is okay with me. That's your decision. Whatever you're going to do is okay with us. Just make sure we can trade together. That's all that matters.
On one issue, they differ sharply: immigration. Their strong words here today, crystallizing a heated debate so many are having around the world.
I think they better watch themselves, because you are changing culture. You are changing a lot of things. You're changing security. It's a very sad situation. It's very unfortunate. But I do not think it's good for Europe, and I don't think it's good for our country.
The UK has a proud history of welcoming people who are fleeing persecution to our country. Overall, immigration has been good for the UK. It's brought people with different backgrounds, different outlooks here to the UK, and we've seen them contributing to our society and to our economy.
One thing from his controversial interview, the president did not back away from his praise for May's political rival, Boris Johnson. He said Johnson would make a good prime minister. Today, he repeated that.
He's been very nice to me. He's been saying very good things about me as president. I think he thinks I'm doing a great job. I am doing a great job, that I can tell you, just in case you haven't noticed. But Boris Johnson, I think, would be a great prime minister. I also said that this incredible woman right here is doing a fantastic job, a great job. And I mean that.
And finally, this may be what President Trump was most looking forward to. He becomes the 12th U.S. president to meet Queen Elizabeth. Donald and Melania Trump, their hands over their hearts as the band plays the American national anthem.
A lot of pomp and circumstance there. Terry Moran with us again tonight. And you just showed us there, Terry, he again said that Boris Johnson would make a great British prime minister. With Theresa May standing right there next to him, that was really something. And after telling the paper she didn't take his suggestion, suggesting that he could have done better on Brexit, he repeatedly said it over and over again before the cameras today that maybe one day she'll take my suggestion, but he never revealed it.
He never divulged it, David. It's all part of the art of the deal there for President Trump. But the real concern so many Britons have isn't the kerfuffle over this interview. It's the question of whether this crucial alliance is still based under President Trump, as it always has been, on shared values and trust. David?
Terry Moran, I'll see you for the summit with Vladimir Putin in just a couple of days. In the meantime, you saw the Queen may have welcomed President Trump, but as Terry alluded to, thousands of others did not. Protesters shutting down the center of London, and ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell was right in the middle of it.
Massive protests flooding the streets of the capital, forcing central London to shut down. Carrying signs to dump Trump and a personal slap in the face, a 20-foot balloon depicting the president as a baby in diapers.
Tens of thousands of people, possibly more than 100,000, have now gathered in central London to voice their objection, not just to the visits of President Trump, but to his policies too.
The president telling the Sun newspaper he'd steer clear of London.
When they make you feel unwelcome, why would I say there? Now, and when I say that, I'm talking about government, because the people of the UK agree with me.
But there's little evidence that the people of London are in Trump's corner.
The power that we have is to protest and demonstrate our absolute disgust and outrage at the language that Donald Trump is using.
David, these were some of the largest protests Britain has seen in years. Now, tonight the crowds here have dispersed, but more protests are expected as the president visits Scotland, a sign of the strength of feeling, not just about President Trump, but also his policies. David?
Ian, our thanks to you as well. And back here at home tonight into the outrage over a highway arrest. A young woman pulled over for speeding, and you can see the officers then flipping a coin after they decide whether to charge her. She sobs. ABC's Victor Akendo tonight.
That's Sarah Webb sobbing in the back of a squad car in Roswell, Georgia this April, arrested for reckless driving. What she doesn't know at the time is that officers decided to take her into custody over a coin flip.
A head, R tail.
Minutes earlier, Webb apologetic on police body cam when told she was speeding.
You know how fast you were just going, ma'am? I'm so sorry, I'm late for work.
But back in the patrol car, Officer Courtney Brown and her partner discussed that they didn't even record her speed before deciding whether to arrest or release Webb by using a coin flip app.
This is tail, right? Yeah, so really, 23.
But they decide to arrest her.
So I got too fast for, let me write this down. Too fast for conditions. Is it reckless? Yeah, you can do reckless. Do me a favor, step out of the vehicle for me. Put the phone down.
Cuffed and taken to jail. But tonight, Webb says she feels better now knowing why she was arrested.
This really was all over nothing. It was a game.
All of the charges against Webb were dropped. Both officers involved have been placed on administrative leave, and an internal affairs investigation is now underway. David?
Victor, thank you. And next tonight, a police impersonator now under arrest tonight after allegedly trying to pull over a car in Phoenix with two undercover state troopers who happened to be inside. Instead of pulling them over, the troopers then turned on their flashing lights. That suspect, who was armed at the time, facing charges tonight. We turn next here to the extreme weather we're watching just as we start the weekend. A severe storm threat in the upper Midwest, monsoon rains in the southwest, and now the heat. Look at the flooding, forcing some 200 tourists to be evacuated from the Havasu Falls area of the Grand Canyon. Part of the road washed out near burn scar areas in Beaver County, Utah. And as I mentioned, for much of the country now this weekend will now bring extreme heat. So let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano. He's live right there near the GW Bridge here in New York. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. We're looking at mid to late July. It's our peak time for heat. We're certainly seeing that in the central and northwestern U.S. The heat dome now centered right over Kentucky and feeding storms into that monsoon in the southwest, which is in full swing. We've got some flood warnings out around Palm Springs, around Las Vegas tonight, and the humidity builds in the central U.S. We're triple-digit heat indices. Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, St. Louis, some of these landlocked locations. No escaping the heat tomorrow. David?
Rob Marciano, thanks. Overseas tonight from Pakistan now. ISIS is now claiming responsibility for a devastating suicide bomb.